Northern Colorado Indian Motorcycle Riders Group. Ride from Vernal, Utah to Fort Collins, Colorado, July 28th, 2024. Yesterday we rode 327 miles from Alpine, Wyoming to Vernal. The ride transitioned from mountains and forests to high desert plains and canyons as we came into Utah. The final leg of the day's ride provided us with views of the Green River and Red Canyon. Today is bittersweet since it marks the last day of our 8-day journey as we head home to Fort Collins. The 313-mile ride will take us through smaller western Colorado towns and into Steamboat Springs. From there, we'll go across Rabbit Ears and into Walden, and then we'll cross over Cameron Peak and take Poudre Canyon the rest of the way home. After about 30 miles from Vernal, we crossed into Colorado. We passed through the tiny town of Dinosaur near the border and started making our way to Maybell. Maybell is another small remote community of northwestern Colorado. Maybell got its start in the 1880s and was named after Maybell, the wife of a local cattleman. On February 1st, 1985, it was minus 61 degrees in Maybell. That's a record low for Colorado and the 5th lowest temperature ever recorded in the United States. For decades, Craig has been a center for coal mining and power generation in Colorado. The largest power generation plant in Colorado and several coal mines were constructed near Craig in the 1970s and 80s. As we continued along Highway 40 from Craig towards Steamboat Springs, the landscape started to become noticeably greener and a bit more mountainous. We followed the Yampa River that was frequently visible along our route. After arriving in Steamboat Springs, we headed to Freshies for a lunch stop. After lunch, we would then travel across Rabbit Ears Pass. Rabbit Ears Pass is a high mountain pass in northern Colorado Rockies. It's one of the many points in Colorado where you cross the Continental Divide. The ride over Rabbit Ears Pass is incredibly scenic. Along the way, there are many breathtaking panoramic views of the surrounding Yampa Valley. Once we crossed over Rabbit Ears near Muddy Pass, we headed toward Walden on Colorado 14. The scenery quickly changed from dense mountainous forests to large, wide open basin and sagebrush grasslands. We stopped to fuel up and rest for a little while in Walden before continuing on Colorado 14 toward Cameron Pass. Traveling east on Colorado 14 from Walden, you're basically surrounded by wide open grasslands and a view of distant mountain ranges, the Medicine Bows to the north and Never Summers to the south. Began a steep descent after crossing over Cameron Pass and entered a series of fun twists and turns surrounded by dense forest. Soon we were greeted by the Poudre River, which would be our constant companion the rest of the way through the Poudre Canyon. At Century Park, we stopped to take a short break before continuing the remaining 20 miles of our long road trip. The stop was partly to rest, but also to prolong our journey for just a little bit longer before coming to an end. Rolling into Ted's Place signaled our 8-day Glacier Road Trip journey's end. This 2,175-mile adventure took us through some of the West's most stunning landscapes. We began with a stop in Thermopolis, Wyoming, before taking a thrilling ride over Beartooth Pass to Red Lodge. From there we headed to Great Falls and on to the breathtaking beauty of Glacier National Park. After Glacier, we wound our way south to Polson, Montana, then ventured into Idaho, arriving in Salmon. Our path then led us through the scenic mountains to Alpine, Wyoming, before coming into Vernal, Utah. And then finally our triumphant return to Fort Collins in this video.